Now, do we call it divide and rule, or do we call it, strategy to actually dismantle the opposition, the naysayers? Now, you see, William Ruto has mastered the heart of kugawanya watu na kuwa rule. This issue of, compensating victims wa demonstration. Ruto aliform hii committee akasema kwamba the victims should be compensated, which is true. But of course, compensating victims is not a solution. Does not necessarily, heal the wound that police, caused on parents actually. Remember what all watoto wao, the issue of quarry, the issue of, people being gunned down, na kila kitu, and abductions and everywhere. And you see now, Ruto came up with this idea to compensate victims, because this idea came after USA ordered investigation into all these abductions and killings. And Ruto aliform a committee because he wanted to appear good before the US government. You see now, after all this, Ruto ameamua to make it too. I don't know whether it's siasa ama is being genuine, but of course, the appointment of Faith Odhiambo imeleta attention in Kenya, to the point whereby even the LSK wants to, wamtoe walete mwingine. Remember, Faith Odhiambo is the president of LSK, and in fact, Faith Odhiambo, this is not the first appointment yake na Ruto. I'll reject nyingine. Sikiza kiongea.
I take up this responsibility. And let it be known that I have in no way betrayed your trust. Let it be clear that access to criminal justice remains critical to me.
Our goal is to break the cycle of violence in this country. Let me repeat that. Our goal is to break the cycle of violence in this country so that we can entrench a culture of peaceful, rights-respecting.
Yes, she's saying that people should not, judge her because amekubali kufanya kazi na Ruto, amekubali kujoin hiyo committee, ya appointment ya committee ya ya compensate victims. People should just give her a chance afanye kazi. But this is saying us, this huge backlash from LSK and from Kenyans at large. And of course, people are saying this. People are really crushing her. We have seen, kina Nyakundi na kila mtu anamcrush na anamuuliza mbona yeye anakubali kufanya kazi na Ruto. Yet LSK is independent, and LSK actually has been advocating for, the government to actually treat Kenyans well. So when you go and work with Ruto, it means that you have betrayed the cause. Do you agree that's true? Comment, about comment. Do you think that Faith Odhiambo accepting the appointment is a betrayal to Kenyans and especially to LSK? Because as we're talking, people want to remove her from office. And you see, President Ruto is a master of, I don't know, he's a very smart guy actually. Let me tell you that. Because he's doing this as a way of scattering the LSK. What I can say. Remember, even the issue of Samuel Makore, what happened with him? He was well loved among Gen Zs, and alichukiwa na Gen Zs when he actually was seen greeting William Ruto. And you see, William Ruto is a master of divide and rule. Even the issue of, ODM members. You're seeing now ODM members fighting each other because Ruto aliingia pale akapea a faction ya ODM kazi ya minister. Now these people are given the jobs are really fighting the other faction that hawana kazi.
Yenye nitaongea kuwa shida mingi sana yenye tunapata Siaya inatokana na waziri wetu Bwana Opiyo Wandayi. Na Opiyo Wandayi kama alipewa waziri ya kupewa waziri ya kufuruga amani ya Siaya. First kitu Opiyo Wandayi ajue, alipewa waziri kufanyia Wakenya wote kazi, si kufuruga amani ya Siaya. Opiyo Wandayi alipelekwa pale na ODM. ODM ni chungwa moja, maisha bora. Kitu ambapo inafanyika, ndiyo sababu tunaona dharau ndogo ndogo inaingia, ni kuwa sisi ni watu wa kufumlia.
You see, and that's what I'm saying, divide and rule. You divide people You pretend that you are giving them job, then know that the people you'll be giving job will be fighting against those wenye wana kazi. For example, if you're Faith Odhiambo, you're seeing her fighting now, responding, actually clashing with our colleagues kwa LSK, all because she's been appointed kama kama committee ya kuangalia mambo ya compensation. But you see now, here's the twist now. How sure is she that she's going to last with Ruto? Because Ruto anakutumia, anakudamp. Nema Gachagua alitumiwa sana campaign, akapewa kazi ya DP. What happened later? He was impeached. So Ruto is a master of using and dumping. So she should be very careful with her words, and should know that she's actually dealing with the politicians. The politicians. And remember, politicians, kazi yao ni kukutumia. Once they have achieved, their goal, the objective, what they do, they actually trash you away. And that's actually what's going to happen with Faith Odhiambo. So, inafaa a swallow a pride, anyamaze, asijibizane na watu, atulie, because ajui kama atafanya kazi na Ruto for how long. Probably she's joining the committee because she feels that maybe Ruto anapenda kazi yake, and Ruto will actually have maybe later on as PS or minister. I don't think so. Remember the issue of Dr. Roba, who was actually a key campaigner wa William Ruto in 2022, actually in Nyanza. What happened is that she was actually removed bila heshima. So this is actually the tactic our president is using and dumping. So Peter Ogutu, of course, accepting the nomination, the appointment, I think it's not that big issue. But it will be a big issue depending on how she's going to actually carry out herself, how she's going to deal with her colleagues, and how she's going to appear before the media. Akijifanya na kiburi, that will be a downfall. But as we're talking now, actually, the LSK wants to actually remove her as the president. Because they feel they have been betrayed by Faith Odhiambo. Now, you need to tell me, do you really believe that Faith Odhiambo has betrayed Kenyans by actually accepting the nomination? And do you think, kama wewe ukapo nje, kama ungeitwa Ruto ufanye kazi, would you accept or would you reject the nomination? Because you have seen people rejecting nominations, ama appointments za Ruto. You have seen so many people rejecting. In fact, even Faith Odhiambo herself once rejected appointment ya Ruto. But this time now, I don't know the deal enye amepewa, enye nafanya paka anakubali, anasahau that she's actually on the course of making sure that Kenya is, the rule of law is actually observed in Kenya, and no one is there to hurt anyone. And remember, the work of LSK is actually to fight for these people who were murdered by the government. But you see now, when the president joins the government, you see now, it becomes questionable. And that's what I'm saying, Ruto is a master of use and dump. And now, he's trying to scatter the LSK, so that wasikuwe na sauti, wakuwe divided, so that no one will actually, take maybe evidence to America, because America is actually investigating this matter. So no one will take evidence to America, because LSK's work is to actually to work and take evidence to America. And remember, Gachagua amplia case ICC. So probably they feel that LSK will work with Gachagua to take evidence to America. It matters dealing with mambo ya abductions. So Ruto picking is actually a strategy to disorganize the LSK, so that in case kuna mambo ya koti ama ICC ikuwe imemalizwa hapa Kenya. Now tell me, do you agree with my statement? And of course, if you have a different opinion, comment then. Of course, I'll be glad to answer you back. And remember, in Kenya, you have freedom of speech, so we are free to actually air out our opinion. So if you have a divergent opinion, you just have to comment there, and of course we will be discussing this matter together. Thank you, and see you soon. If you love politics, then Dr. Politica is your cup of tea, the place for minds that think. If you are watching this from anywhere else, search the name, hit subscribe, and stay sharp with us. Thank you for making Dota Politica your home for fearless political truth. Every view, every like, every share fuels the fire behind the hours of research, filming, and editing we pour into each episode. By showing up consistently, you don't just support a channel, you empower a voice. In a world ruled by headlines, spin, and power games, you remind us that real people still care about real facts. We are here to inform, inspire, and ignite critical thinking, not just for today, but for generations to come. You are not just a viewer, you are the reason this platform exists.